Not yet.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes. Now can.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for taking time to join this Saturday for our meetup event. So today I would be discussing about power of pipelines in Power Platform, which is the latest feature, which is Power Pipelines. So we will get to know what are all the things which is came into the in product capability, and we'll see how we can deploy our solution in an easily and a streamlined fashion. So I'll give a bit intro about myself. So I am Pavan Manideep. So I have around 9 years of experience in Dynamics here on Power Platform. I'm currently working as senior analyst in Total IP Solutions. So this is my personal blog, and these are my LinkedIn and Twitter handles. So if anytime if you want to reach out, you
Pa-
can get back.
Pavan, Pavan, sorry to interrupt you because I'm not
Hmm.
sure if you are sharing your personal blogs or anything because your screen you are sharing which is not in full screen mode because we cannot see your personal blogs and all. I believe you
No, no, no.
shared.
I am sharing the link to my personal blog.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Then it is fine. Thanks, thanks. That's why I'm just trying to
Mm,
confirm
mm,
because
mm,
I did
mm,
not see
mm.
it's a full screen mode.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, you
this is
can take it
my
forward.
these are the links to my plus personal blog and Twitter handles. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'll post it at the end of the session in the chat so that any further questions or any follow up, we can get in touch. So that said, we'll start the presentation. So firstly, whatever we are discussing all comes under ALM. So ALM is nothing but application lifecycle management. So application lifecycle management, it not only covers application development, software testing, operational maintenance, and application governance. SDLC has covering uh, only covering the software development, but here in our ALM it covers all the application development, software testing. It also includes application governance. So this is why everyone is looking forward for the ALM. So currently we will discuss about what ALM can do for our Power Platform and how we can easily deploy the solutions, how we can maintain, how we can organize the solutions, and how we can do a better governance for our solutions which we are delivering to our customers. Okay, so in this application lifecycle, all we need is if you see at the right, there is some diagram which pictorially represents how the ALM process works. So it's an iteration like a loop wherein you develop, you build and test your application,
Pavan.
then deploy.
Yeah, hi Pavan. Just to inform you, we can see still very first slide. We cannot see anything moving forward actually. Yeah, we can see only your first slide actually. So this is what I'm trying to convey. If you are saying something and slide is moving, but we can see only first slide. Maybe
No,
anyone can confirm. Yep. Okay. So yeah, now it is moving. Now it is moving. I saw, yeah. What is ALM? Yeah, this is correct
okay.
now. Okay. Yep. Thanks.
No, I was trying to put in full screen, but now
You
you are in
below
AL.
below you can click that. You can see there is an icon in PPT. Below you can see there is one icon to put full screen mode. Plus or
Yeah,
minus. Yeah. There you are not able to do, is it?
yeah, I was in full screen right now in presentation mode.
We cannot see. That's why I'm saying you shared your personal view. In screen sharing, there are two screens, I believe you have. So you shared your personal screen one. You have not shared the full screen mode.
Okay, one moment. I'm not able to share the entire screen. Okay, one moment. How about now, Goloknath?
Yeah, now it is a full screen. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, thank you for confirming. So I think we are here. We discuss about the flow, which what ALM takes care of. So next we'll go into what Power Platform has the basic components for the ALM. So Power Platform ALM contains the following components like we need to be aware of the environments which we have and what are the solutions, what is source control, and we'll use some kind of automation for deploying our solutions, and then what licensing we need to be aware of, and what are the security constraints. Okay, that is about the basics, so which we need to be take caring of. So this is the main slide. So I have taken this because it will be apt to your discussion. So I think this will give an clear picture of what our ALM process is and what we can incorporate based upon our needs. So if you see, generally you can read this picture like from the source all this at the top, where source and all destinations or environments is managed. So Microsoft is enforcing to use the best practice across all the organizations to use managed environments. Managed environments are nothing but where we can easily maintain and organize your environments in an streamlined fashion. So you can set data policies, you can set uh, some different emails, alerts, everything that you can set in managed environments. So that we'll discuss about how we can set the managed environments and what are all the additional benefits which we get in our demo session. So in this session, we'll see what. So in this session, we'll see this part where I'll not be covering about the below part, which is covering the deployment using Azure DevOps. Rather, I would be covering the in product capability which came in, which is nothing but the Power Pipelines. So in that case, we will make sure that our source and environment destination environments are managed environments. So and we'll see how we can leverage Power Platform pipelines to deploy solutions easily without any hassles. Okay. So these are all the whatever I shown in the previous slide. So these are all the options which we have to deploy, which we have in ALM, which where we can deploy our Power Platform solutions. Okay. So we have Power Platform pipelines, Azure DevOps. You can export and import solutions using Pack CLI, which is generally used by developers. You can install ALM Accelerator Kit, which is in preview, currently in preview. And GitHub workflows also you can use, where we need to host or we need to maintain GitHub as our source control repository. You can or else you can manually export and import solutions from the UI itself. I think most of the people have been doing the manual import of export of solutions into UI, even into production also they will be doing manual import and export. So now comes we'll discuss what is Power Pipelines and what are its capabilities. Okay, Power Pipelines are nothing but which is introduced in um, general preview in the March. So from then there has been tremendous increase in the user adoption of the Power Pipelines. So Microsoft has announced that almost there is 90% increase in the user adoption of the Power Pipelines from its inception. So mostly, and it can be easily used by citizen developers and also the pro developers. Um, compared to Azure DevOps, where it is mostly used for the pro developers. We can use the Power Pipelines easily by the citizen developers also. It's just a um, it is easy, and it is easy to set up and easy to use. Okay, so in the Power Pipelines, it is, as I told you, it is ideal for medium and medium sized businesses. For extremely large and very resource oriented businesses, we obviously currently we don't have in product capabilities which is available in Power Pipeline, which can handle very large, very complex scenarios, but rather a medium or low side medium side business can definitely adopt using Power Pipelines, which is easier and cost effective. Okay, so in the Power Pipelines, we need to maintain a host environment. So we'll in the demo we'll just take care. We'll see how we can use and how we can leverage our in product capability. What are the what type of environments we need to have? What is the host environment? And so all this process you can do without any much of generally for manual solution import and export, you generally need to export the solution to a local machine, then open the target environment, and then open the solution, then import the solution. So in this Power Pipeline, all you need to is create a pipeline in your host environment, and then you can deploy the pipeline. Using that pipeline, you can deploy the solutions into the target environment. Okay, so the configuration is very much easier, and it is easy to set up the pre and post deployment steps. Like suppose if you want to make an approval before your deployment, suppose you need to make an approval, like it needs to be sent to and some other approval, then you can easily configure that using Power Pipelines, in the Power Pipelines with the help of Power Automate. So in the demo, we'll look into that and how we can add that, and we can also add the deployment notes. What are all we can convey to the end user, like to the user who is deploying the solution. Then we can also convey to using deployment notes. So you need to make sure, you need to note that the Power BI is currently not supported in Power Pipelines. However, remaining solutions, remaining Power BI and remaining Power Automate, Power Apps, Canvas apps, model driven apps, like everything is supported. For deployment of Power BI, you need to use Power BI deployment pipelines. Okay, so currently in this for this seminar, I'm just using only the free and trial licenses which I have, so that it's easy for you to try it out, and you can know the capability which is available. Okay, so these are the main differences between the Power Pipelines and CI/CD pipelines. So if you can see, Power Pipelines is very cost ownership is very easy, like which it has very low cost ownership. That means it is very easy to incorporate and very easy to maintain. So all you need is you need to maintain on host environment where you can store everything in everything you can configure easily, and then you can manage all these activities from your host environment, where we can see dashboards, like out of box dashboards, where you can see what are all the deployments which have been done. So for each deployment, for each Power Pipeline, there is out of box database triggers. That means for the deployment also it is a trigger, for everything there is a trigger. Suppose if you want to set an uh, pre-deployment step, then you can use the database trigger, and you can, on that trigger, you can perform Power Automate, where you can send for an approval, and then once it is approved, then you can continue your deployment. All this can be automated. So we'll see all that in our demo in short while. So also, what are all the options which we have in our manual solution deployment? Everything is possible in Power Pipelines. By default, Power Pipelines will import everything which we have sent from our source to target. Okay. Anyone have any question?
No questions so far. I saw. Maybe
Okay.
proceed further. If anything, I'll let you know.
Okay. So we will as I told that managed environments is definitely required for setting up power pipelines. So managed environments is uh, okay. So we'll see how we can set up managed environment. What are the licensing options available? How we can set limit sharing? How we can so with managed environments we get all these benefits. So we can there will be a weekly usage insights, like these are all the flows which are mainly used, and these are the users who are logged in much of the time on the what are all we can set data policies, like we can set generally Microsoft suggested that if there is any, generally companies will think about data breach if there is any data breach to their solutions, from their solutions. So Microsoft has estimated around there will be 4 million loss in revenue if there is a data breach for an medium scale industry. So by setting up managed environments, it is a way to enforce strict data policy checking where nothing goes into a data breach, so that everything will be taken care by the platform itself. And at the last, we'll set up how we can use power pipelines. So in power pipelines, we need to be aware of these data tables, which are very important. So one is deployment artifact. So like in Azure DevOps or wherever it is, which we are using to deploy solution. So the solution which is exported, okay, it will be stored in an artifact as an artifact. So a deployment artifact table will contain those artifacts which we have used for a deployment. Suppose if we have selected a solution and we are importing that solution will be stored as an artifact in deployment artifact table. Okay, deployment environment is nothing but contains environment information, like what kind of what kind of type it is, either it is production or UAT or sandbox. So it contains that environment type, it contains environment ID, and it contains other information. So deployment pipeline is the one which stores the pipeline configuration information. Like if there are any, suppose if we have an environment variables. So suppose if we are deploying environment variables, so all that environment variables will be stored in a JSON format, and that will be deployment pipeline table will hold all this information. So deployment stage is nothing but so in the pipeline you'll maintain different stages. Okay, so in the like suppose if you're deploying development environment to test environment, test to prod. So development to test is one stage, and some test to production is another stage. Okay, so that information will be stored in deployment stage table. And deployment stage run is nothing but, suppose from development to test you have performed two deployments, so that information will be stored in deployment stage run. Deployment stage run sub operations is nothing but, suppose for that deployment stage you have performed two times, you deployed twice, and deployment run sub operations will contain like what is the deployment stage and what is the run ID and what is its operation, like if is it either it is fail or success, or that uh, run operation status it will be contained. Okay, now generally that is what we can do with pipelines, but we can also add additional, as I told earlier, we can add some additional pre-deployment conditions, we can add additional triggers, there will be some additional trigger conditions. So, and also with this, pro developers can also work with this very easily using CLI, Power Apps CLI. I will also show how we can export import solutions using Power Apps CLI, just to get to know. And you can also set approvals for your deployments. Okay. So these are the licensing requirements which you need to have for your Power Pipelines. So generally you need to set up a managed environment, because managed environment, as I told, it is a best practice, it is a recommended way. So you need to set up a managed environments where only the development environment will contain unmanaged copy of your solution, but once if you deploy anything to a higher environment, it will be managed. So everything is managed by Microsoft. So so you don't need to worry about it. So if you see the host, so whatever I mentioned here, it is nothing but the best practice. So it is good if you maintain this kind of thing for your environment. So the host environment is generally uh, a production version is generally recommended. So for development QA, and you can maintain a development sandbox environment where you don't, for any of these you don't need a standalone license, but for maintaining the production copy for the production environment, you need to maintain a standalone license. Okay. So for the pipelines, in order to work with the pipelines out of box, we have once we have installed pipeline configuration app, we have the deployment administrator and deployment pipeline user. So these two security roles will be available in your solution, so that you can give this deployment administrator to those who are administering the pipeline, and those who want to just maintain and just watch everything, then you can give pipeline user. Anyhow, these are the out of box available options. You can customize up to your needs. Okay, now we'll see our demo, and what all we can achieve using our deployments using Power Pipelines. Is my screen visible? I think still.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Your screen is visible.
Okay, okay. So I am now in Power Platform Admin Center. Okay. So as I told you, I told you the best practices, but currently for this demo, I am using all trial and developer environments. Okay. So I just renamed it for the reference, just to know which environment is what. So I have, so so one other thing to note is that, so I was so I told you, right, so this is my host environment. So I'm currently using my default environment, which comes in when we subscribe for any trial, then which comes with as default environment. So I'm using my default environment as my host environment to store all the pipeline configuration and other run history and everything. So for an healthy ALM, you definitely need three apart from your host environment, we need at least three environments for your healthy ALM, like one dev, one test, either it can be SIT or UAT, and one production. Okay. So I have already set up this environment to save everyone's time, but I will show you quickly how you can set up the host environment and what are all the things which we have. Okay. So so one more thing to note is that generally our in whichever region the host environment is, you need to configure this in the same region the other 10 other the source and the source and target environments. Suppose if your host environment is in India region, so currently my default is in India region. So I have set up everything remaining of all the three environments in the same region. So so I'm not going to set up many now because I have already reached my limit. I tried everything, so I'm not going to set up now, but I'll show you how you can use it. So uh, once your default environment, you need to make sure that you can whatever environment you selected in for the host environment, the other environment should be in the same region. Okay, for host environment, you can production type of environment is preferred. Okay, for for host environment, you need to have a database as a data store because which will contain because it contains the tables which I have discussed just a while ago. So it should contain all those tables. So we need a database store. So this option we can ignore it for now, and if you want to go for you can opt for it. So so currency you can obviously select whatever you want, and you can select and enabling this is not required, and deploy sample apps is not required. Then you click on save, then your host environment will be created. So similarly, you will be creating the other environments like the source and the target environment. But only thing you should notice, you should maintain a database data store, because obviously anyhow your source and target environments, you are working on database solutions, so definitely it will be contain a database as data store, so you no need to worry about. So but only thing is to note that your region should be same as your host environment. Okay, that said, and one other thing is you need to select the solution and make it as managed environment. So I have already made it managed for remaining, but I'll just make this managed. So enabling a managed solution, you'll get this pop-up window which says that once you have enabled this managed solution, like in order to prevent any data breaches, Microsoft is enabling you this feature so that you will not have any problems at a later point of time. So it will be able to you can set the limits to which you can share this everything information. Okay, and you can also set the solution checker, like each time a deployment is performed. Currently what we are doing, we are deploying, sometimes we are deploying solutions manually, where we don't even check our solution checker. Like even if we check solution checker before our deployment, what we are doing, we are actually performing a solution checker from make.powerapps.com offline, and we are resolving all the issues, and then we are making sure that everything is working fine, then we are deploying the solution. But currently with this, once you and with the managed environments, once a solution is imported or exported, the solution checker based on this setup, it will automatically whenever you import a solution, it automatically checks the solution checker. Like suppose if you have put this block, so when there is high severity or priority issues, then automatically the solution will be blocked, it will not be imported. So if you warn means you will get a warning message, like you will get an warning email to your inbox, so that you will be aware of that in future you are or overriding this feature and you are going. So in future you'll be aware of. So once the solution is checked, you can block, you can, there will be emails which you can set up. Okay, similarly, as I told you, here you can set up the user adoption or insights, whatever insights, so everything we can configure through emails. And also we can set up a welcome message to a portal which is currently in preview. So you can set up everything so that whoever will open the make.powerapps.com, they will get this screen, they will get this message at their end. Okay, and here you can set the data policies. Okay, and now I am enabling this managed environment. Okay, once the managed environment is enabled, you can edit the managed environment, do whatever like suppose if you have enabled your environment and later you don't need, then you can change whatever limits on what is the solution checker level and everything. Okay. If suppose we have you enable your manage environment, but if you at a later point of time you don't need manage environment feature, then you need to disable it. Currently there is only one way where you can disable it, using PowerShell script, where we can remove the remove the manage environment property for this environment, so it will be a normal environment. Okay. As I told you how we can create environments and what are the managed environments. So let's see. Once you have installed managed environment, then you need to make sure that from this admin portal itself, you can open your so as I told you, this is my host environment, so which contains all the configuration of your pipelines and everything. So so in this host environment, you need to make sure that the pipelines solution is installed, and whether it is a latest solution is installed, so that there is no updates available. So we'll see by going to resources, Dynamics 365 apps. So if you scroll down, you should see the Power Pipeline solution is installed. If it is not, if you don't see this option, you can definitely go for install app. Okay, and you can look for the Power Pipelines solution. Okay, if there are any updates available, then you can if there are any updates available, it will show updates available. You should install the updates before proceeding further. Okay, once the Power Pipeline solution is installed, so once you go to this environment or default environment, let me go to the default environment from make.power app. So you should see a pipelines configuration app, where model driven app, where we can set up the pipelines. So once I set up the host environment, which is nothing but my default environment, so I'll go to apps. I'm in my host environment, which is the default environment. So once you have installed the pipelines solution, once this is installed, so you'll get an option called deployment pipeline configuration app. Okay, you will get this app. So this is the app. This is the model driven app which will be used to maintain all the pipeline configuration. Okay, now let's go and get into this app. So in this app, you can see all the pipeline dashboard, like what are all the pipelines. Currently I have only one pipeline. You can create as many pipelines uh, you require as per your needs. Okay, so currently I maintain only one pipeline, which was development to prod. So I am maintaining two stages. One is development to test and development to prod. So in this pipeline, so this is the out of box reports which we can see, like when it is deployed and when at what time it is deployed. Currently when we are deploying using manual deployments, we will definitely forget like when is the last deployment. So with these features, we don't need to forget about it. All we need to concentrate on your deployment strategy. So first of all, we need to first of all we need to set up all our host environments. In the host environment, we need to set up all the environments. So I have already set up, but I'll show you how we can set up. So we can specify development to test. So in that, for this pipeline, I have actually set up two stages. One is development. One is from my development to test, and from test to production. So we can mention the environment name, and then we can say that either it is development environment or target environment. So only in the first case, you will mention that is a development environment. In the next step, you will mention as target environment is this current step. Okay, so I'm staying development environment. So from environment ID is the one which we can copy from your Power Platform Admin Center. So for environment ID, you can copy this environment ID which is available. You can copy, you can paste. Okay. I have set up all these things because the validation status will take just 5 to 10 minutes. So I just don't want to waste everyone's time. So I have set up everything in advance. However, it is only this configuration. In a short while, you will come to know whether the validation is pending or not. If suppose you have created an post environment in different region and you have created a development environment in a different region, then your validation will fail, stating that you have not created you have not created your source environment in the same region as your post environment. Okay. So in this is how I set up all the three environments. One is my development environment, one is my test environment, one is my prod environment. Okay, once you have set up the environments, the next step is to configure your pipeline. Okay, however, I have set up everything for you, and you can with very easy steps you can just follow with me. So in this way you can set up your pipelines. So you can give your pipeline a unique name. uh, okay, you can save your pipeline, and then you can give your you can link your development environment. What we have our dev environment as our development environment. So development environment is added. Okay. So now deployment stages. I have already configured two environments, right? So I will configure the deployment steps. Okay. So all you need. So this is the deployment pipeline. I will mention that dev to test. So this is the first stage. That means from development you are going to test. There is no previous step. So you should leave this as empty. Okay. So the target deployment is nothing but your test environment. Okay. So currently we'll go with no pre-deployment step, and later we'll see how we can we'll just enable this and how our deployments we'll see how our deployment will goes. Okay. Now we have set up our first stage. Now we also need to set up till test we have set up, and we'll set up our till production, and again we'll click on deployment stage. We'll say deployment to test to prod. Okay, now in this case there will be pre-deployment stage, which is nothing but our test environment. So that is considering as our previous deployment stage. So this we need to select here in this case, and here the target environment is nothing but the production environment. Okay. Similarly, I will currently skip this pre-deployment step, and later we can see. So that's it. You just need to maintain this configuration in your pipeline configuration. Okay. uh, make sure you are doing this pipeline configuration in the host environment. Okay, once you set up everything regarding the pipeline configuration of your environments, you can go to your development environment from make.power apps. So I'm in host environment. I will go to my dev environment. I have also installed in this environment, but you don't need to do this in this environment. So all you need to work with your solutions. Okay. So in this environment, in your development environment, suppose I am taking this solution. Okay. It just contains one app. So in this solution, it just contains one app, which is nothing but this is a demo app for the pipeline. So I'm deploying this app into the next environment or test environment. So once you set up everything properly, all you can see that a small pipeline symbol. So in your make.power apps, you can click on it. It says pipelines. So once you set up the properly, then you should see your pipeline loaded. This is my previous pipeline which we have configured. Now we have configured pipeline test, right? So this is the pipeline which we have right now. Let's see, we'll see. So once this is configured, everything is configured properly, then you will see what is your development environment. So from development, in your pipeline configuration, you have set up in your host environment, you have set up like you are developing from dev to test as one stage, and from test to prod is a second stage. So whatever stages you have configured in your pipeline app, it will be pipeline configuration model driven app, it will be shown here. So all you need to is just click on deploy here. It's so easy, like you just need to click on deploy here. Once you're set up properly, um, suppose your source environment solution is version is 1.3.0.16. So everything is taken care, then you click on deploy now. So once you click on deploy now, it will automatically check for any dependencies available and make everything ready. So the now you can say, you can set a deployment schedule, whether you can deploy right away or you can deploy at a later point of time. You can configure either. If it is now, you can just click on and proceed. But if you want to do it a later point of time, then you can set up the time, then you can set up a date and time when to deploy. Okay, now we'll see the both stages. It might take a few moments, maybe a minute, just to deploy the solution. Once you click on next, before deploying it, it will just validates if there are any dependencies, solution dependencies for your target environment. Okay, so making sure that nothing goes wrong. So optionally, you can maintain a deployment notes. If you see, it is the source environment version is 1.3.0.16. It automatically incremented with the build revision number is 17. It incremented the revision number. You can optionally maintain you can optionally maintain a deployment notes for here, and you can click on deploy. So this process is all taken up in the background, and you will only see this prompt which says that it is deploying the solution of version 1.3.0.17. We'll wait for a couple of moments for it to deploy.
Maybe, yeah, hi Pavan. Maybe I will ask few couple of the questions by the time I deploy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. First question I saw in the chat actually. Ram Najis asking, I need more details about the pricing.
Pricing, you need to have premium license for this installing this feature, using this feature.
Premium license means?
Premium license means enterprise license, where we can get Power Automate, because you are working with Power Automate. You are invoking your Dataverse for extending this Power pipeline. So in order to invoke, because Dataverse is already a premium connector, so in order to invoke our Dataverse actions, you need to have a premium license, which includes your Power Automate by default.
Okay, let me tell you actually. So basically, you are saying premium license is required. So basically, if I consider the licensing point of view, there
Mm,
are power apps, per app plan, per user plan, pay as you go, all other things are there.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
as part of power apps is concerned.
mm,
So within that, they give you premium connectors or whatever the features, premium
mm,
features.
mm,
So
mm.
in that context, which license you are trying to convey basically? Which license is required here? Because
Uh, mm.
some licenses come as a seeded license as part of your Office 365, for example, E3, E5, some components it keeps. So if I have E5 license, also I
E5,
get actually power.
E5 license you can't get, only with E3 and above.
Yeah, so then E5 has this, understand? And some
Mm.
also, even though you don't have E5, if you have Dynamics Enterprise license, then also you will get.
Yeah, yeah. With
So
enterprise
that is
license,
also another way
you can get
actually.
it.
Basically, these considered as a seeded license. Okay.
Mm.
So in that context also, I understand they will get correct, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If let's say those don't have E5, don't have enterprise license, still they can get if they buy Power Apps licensing. Let's say whenever they will get this feature, premium
Mm,
features,
mm. Yes,
as per
yes.
my understanding, they will
Yeah,
get as
yeah.
per app plan or per user plan or any
Yes,
per pay as you go plan also. Basically, they
yes,
need to buy the licenses,
yes,
either
yes.
standalone license or seeded licenses. Seeded
Mm,
licenses can be E5, can be enterprise licenses.
mm.
Okay. So
So
my
the thing
understanding is
is
correct,
where,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So Ram, I think you got the answer. Okay. I'm not sure Ram is there. Yeah, Ram is there. Anyways, so that is one. But I have one question actually to you, maybe Pavan. So
Mm,
you just compared actually CI/CD with this power pipeline. Okay.
mm.
So if I consider in CI/CD, I can do from different repositories. Let's say I can do from GitHub, I can do from Jenkins, I can do from SourceFirst, Bitbucket, Atlassian, Jira. I can do from any source. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
here it is environment migration, right? It's nothing
Yeah,
like
yeah.
any source.
It,
Correct, right?
it don't have source control
Yeah,
as
source
of
control
now.
we don't have. That means it's a
In
environment to
in
environment
Yes,
migration only.
yes.
That we have to keep in mind. And second
Mm.
thing, it is whether it is applicable to model driven app also. Let's say I want to put my component migration. If model driven means I want to move my plugins only, my workflows only, my
Mm.
customization only. Is it possible?
Yeah, yeah. You can create a solution, whatever components which we want to deploy, only that
Hmm.
will be deployed.
Okay, so basically that will hold good, but you have to, that solution should be in your environment. It should not be exported to any other places, means any storage or anything. Correct,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm. Yes.
So it is a environment to
So
environment migration only.
yes, yes. So
Hmm.
environment to environment migration.
Hmm.
So in your host environment, you will get an artifact like this is the solution which is exported and imported to target environment.
Hmm. Okay, but
So
okay, sorry, you
mm,
were saying something.
no, no, you continue.
Yeah, I have another question. Let's say if it is a managed environment, it is a production deployment, it's a managed environment. In managed environment, when I will migrate from one environment to another environment, there are some components, right? Managing a managed environment, it's little bit of tedious task. So if let's say any component missing on a layering problem, it will throw error. You cannot do. Okay. So
Mm.
how you suggest actually? What is the best practice to follow? You got my point where I'm
Can
coming
you
from?
repeat your question?
Okay, so you told if I go for Happy Path unmanaged solution, my dev is unmanaged, my test is unmanaged, is okay. My dev unmanaged, my test unmanaged, my production unmanaged. Okay, which is most likely no. Production never goes
Mm,
unmanaged as per
mm,
Microsoft
mm.
direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you consider unmanaged to managed migration you are doing and you created a
Mm.
solution, and that solution should be properly managed by someone who knows actually how the layering goes, or else
Okay.
solution layers, right? It will create
Yeah,
problem.
solution layer, it will create an
Yeah.
unmanaged layer on top of it, and your new solution will not be imported properly.
Exactly, exactly. This is where I'm coming because that also should be properly taken care, right? Or else it will, again, deployment will fail, right?
Mm,
If
mm.
anyone will do this ad hoc manner, like I just put my solution, plugin solution into one solution, I will tell, okay, you deploy. It may not be possible. If some other component already exists there, let's say my table, any field or
So
anything in
if
exist, it is thrown.
mm, so if
Correct,
such
right?
kind of, yeah, if such kind of dependency exists, your solution will not be imported. Like it will show an error here itself while validating itself.
Yeah. This is where I'm coming because it's a practical use cases actually. Whenever anyone will do this kind of deployment.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is one of the major question why businesses are still thinking to adopt this practice at an large scale.
Yeah. Okay. I think Anik raised his hand. Anik, you have any questions maybe? Sorry, I was just asking in between. Anik, you have any question? Okay. Then if
Yes,
not,
yes, Alak.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
audible?
Yeah. You are audible. Maybe you can ask the
Okay.
question.
Okay. I just want to ask, like, you have mentioned the model-driven apps of our plugin customization, etc. We can deploy. So here we can select the solution, is it, or it will deploy the default solution? How it will go?
No. You can select the solution. Suppose previously I selected this solution, right?
Okay. Okay.
Uh, you can select this solution. Okay. I'll for you. I'll like for your reference. I'll create a new solution. Just you need to select the publisher version. We'll create it. So in your development environment, now we created a new solution. We'll add. Okay. We'll add one app. Anything else? We'll add one app, one more model driven app, and you click publish, and you see this little symbol. Let this publish complete.
So basically, what I feel by the time it published, basically what I feel this is a good attempt from Microsoft
Mm, mm.
to
To
make it
streamline the
simple.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You may proceed. Already published.
So here, you for this solution, you can see the pipeline. Okay. Now you can just click deploy again. So this solution will be moved. So no other solution,
Okay.
only this particular solution will be moved to your test environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anik, you got your answer?
Yes. Yes. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah. I think there is another question actually to you. Maybe we are just over time. How
Okay.
much you have actually, Pavan? It's already finished, right? Almost.
Almost finished. I just need to show how you can set up the pre and post deployment steps.
Sure. Actually, just I'm apologizing everyone. If you can give us another 15 minutes, maybe he can finish. Actually, Ahmed has one question. Maybe you want to take this question now or after finish, you can take this question. It's your call. Over to you.
Yeah, I can take this question now.
Okay. Then the question is it possible to refresh dev instance with updated production copy through this approach?
No. Using this approach, you can't do.
Yep.
This is just to deploy your solution from your dev to test or to production.
Okay.
You
I
can't.
think Ahmed, you got your answer maybe. Okay. You may proceed further. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, now we'll go to our host environment. As I showed, we have configured the pipeline test and we are deployed using this, right? So if you go to the deployment stages, you can set up a pre-deployment step required. Okay, if you set up a pre-deployment step required, then your deployment will be on hold till your pre-deployment step is approved. It's like, suppose if you want to set up any approval for your deployment, then you can set this option. Okay, once you set this option, your deployment will be on hold till it is complete, till the approval is complete. It says like deployments may be pending until an associated background process succeeds. So you can optionally make this as waiting until your approval is complete. So for making this approval, you can set up a Power Automate which runs on your deployment is requested. I'll show you how you can set up the Power Automate as well. So this is the flow which I created. So with these Power Pipelines, you have an database trigger created. So when you are creating this approval process flow, then you need to select this option like database common as a catalog, and then you can select the Power Pipelines as the category. So you have these options. You need to select Power Platform Pipelines as the category. You don't need to give any table name for this. And in the actions, you can give on deployment completed means the deployment is actually completed. On deployment requested, like when you are like if you want to give any approval, like if you want to hold that deployment until some time, and you can use this step. So the deployment is already requested, but you can use this step so that this trigger will be fired, and then you can perform your operation. Okay, on deployment started is also it start when the deployment is actually started. So on pre-deployment completed and pre-deployment started is when you want to take that step and you want to update that action. Like if you want to update that after the approval, you will call another unbound action where you will update the deployment step status, so that it will the deployment will goes to the next stage and your deployment will be complete. So as I told you, one moment, I will. Okay, now let me quickly. It is running, and already I could have got an approval. The flow is running and it is waiting for the approval, if you see. So all I am doing is I was just getting the stage details. I'll just use a compose to know what all the details which you are getting. So as we have requested the deployment, so I'm getting all those details on that particular trigger. I'm getting the ID. What is the stage run ID? Okay, because this we need this thing to update when we are trying to update the stage. Then we need this deployment stage run ID. Okay, these are all the context information which we get. I mentioned like this is the we get the deployment nodes in the configuration in the context. Okay, who is the deployment user, and what is his name, everything we get. So in order to give an approval, we can retrieve this user's email and we can send an approval. So and that is how we am doing this. Once you have uh, sent an approval, then you can update. Once it is approved, then you can update the pre-deployment status step. So 20 is waiting and 30 is completed. Okay, so 30 is failed, 20 is completed. Okay, so so these are just for my references. I retrieved the user ID who has invoked this deployment, and then compose. I used to just to know what is the details which we are getting, and next I am starting for an approval. So it might have already got into my approval. Okay, so see, I got an approval. Please approve the deployment request. Okay, this everything you can set up in the Power Automate itself. So once you have approved, so you need to approve the deployment. Either you can approve or you can reject or reassign to some other so that he can approve, and you can set up. And you can confirm. Okay, once the request is recorded, that means the deployment is approved. Then you'll go to it is waiting. Okay, let me do this way. I'll stop this.
So, Pawan, just trying to check in the interest of time because people already we exceeded 10, 11 minutes. So how much time it will take more?
It will take maybe 10 minutes more. I think
Okay.
I all I need to show is one similar. I just showed how you can get the approval, right?
Sure, sure,
So,
sure. No issues.
so
Okay.
once you click on deploy, let's see at a later time in order to make an approval, because approval takes some time, right? We can't deploy right away. So I need to set a schedule to deploy at a later time. So suppose I took 12:15. Let me show. I'll see if this is working and whether we are good. Okay, meanwhile, so you should be aware of this. What are all the components can be deployed using pipelines? So all the Power Platform components can be deployed using Power Pipelines. Okay, and you can't by like in manual solution import, you can directly take the solution from dev environment to and you can directly import to production environment. But in this stage, you can't. With Power Pipelines, you can't do that, because in Power Pipelines you need to definitely follow the stage by stage process. You need to deploy from dev to test, and from test to prod only you can deploy. Okay, so what about licensing? Licensing we already discussed. We need pro license, we need professional license, and we need for Power Platform, and along with this for Dataverse, and along with Power Automate. Okay, and approvals are already possible because we can set up the pre and post deployment approval. So, and one more thing, can the pipelines be developed in default environment? Pipelines can be developed in default environment, but not in other environments. So all the pipeline configuration should be present in your default environment. Okay. So is up generally as I told you, like all the options which is possible with manual solution import, like update, upgrade, is it possible in the Power Pipeline? So in the Power Pipeline, it is by default upgrade unmanaged solutions. So by default, that is a option which is provided by Microsoft. It is obviously set to upgrade with unmanaged customizations. Okay, upgrade and override customizations. Okay, so deployment is available across all the geos, but only thing you need to make sure that the host environment should be in the same region as your other development and target environments. Okay, can we deploy unmanaged solutions? So currently you can't deploy unmanaged solutions. Okay, only you'll get unmanaged solutions in your artifact, but you can't deploy to your target environment. Okay, so only in your development environment you will maintain unmanaged solution, but in target environment you will maintain as managed solution. Okay, do we need to still the publish customizations? You don't need to publish customization, especially because by default the Power Pipeline will automatically take everything by default. It will publish by customizations by default. Okay, impersonation is currently not possible with Power Pipelines. Currently it is in product, it is not available. Okay, so and these are the pros and cons with Power Pipelines with Azure DevOps. Okay, it's Pipelines is easy to set up, and it is which came in the which generally available in this March. So and there is next updates which came in the May. So we are expecting more and more features to the Power Platform pipelines. So I think which will be more benefit to everyone. We no need to go for Azure DevOps pipelines and maintain all those things for us. Okay, let me see the schedule to deploy. If this works, okay, then we'll see. Otherwise, we'll. So it is running. I got the approval. I have confirmed. See, you see, it is already approved and it has been deployed a minute ago. That means the deployment has already started, but till the last step completes, it is waiting for the approval. Once you have approved, then the solution is obviously deployed to target test environment. The same thing works for your production environment. When you want to deploy, you can deploy here, and then you get first time you won't get a deploy here, and next time you will get deploy here, so you can deploy to your production environment. So similarly, everything is same. You can deploy now or later. I think that's what I want to show you. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, you can. I think we are over time.
Yeah, thank you, again for giving us insights on learning this
So
power.
definitely there will be
Yeah,
more improvements in future. So obviously it is a
yeah,
good learning point to know what are Power Pipelines, and get to know some hands-on
yeah.
till more capabilities come in. So I think this will be a good one.
Yeah. So Ram, I think regarding license, Ram has question. So Ram, already we answered, right? Pricing information. What I understand from him, pricing point of view, you should have. Let me repeat again. What we discuss actually. pricing point of view, it is like you should have seeded license or you should have standalone license. Seeded license can be you should have E5, at least Office 365 if you have E5, or you have enterprise license. You correct me if my understanding is right or wrong. Okay. You should have E5 or more, plus or either or you should have Dynamics enterprise license where you will get your Power Automate and Power Apps
Oh,
licensing
yeah,
also
we
as
need
part
Power
of that.
Automate license
Yeah. Or
because
else, if you don't have
mm,
seeded license, you can go for standalone license also, which is Power Apps per user, per app, or pay as you go. Okay. Any of these license, you should have valid license. That's all. There is no additional license. Rather, you should have Power Apps license.
yes,
Correct, right, Pavan?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think Ram, you got the answer.
Yes, I think so. But
Yeah.
I need the Power Platform pipeline license.
No, there is
Pipeline.
no specific license for Power Pipelines specifically.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay. I think Ram, I let me bring this question in this way. So far, as per Microsoft, I understand it is in preview, right, Pavan?
No, it is generally available.
It's GA already. Okay.
Mm,
Then in that case, there is no licensing. It's as part of your environment license, you will get this free of cost then.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if normally in preview cases, what happens, they don't release the licensing plan. But if it is already GA and there is no licensing plan, then I think it is as part of your environment you will get. As long as you have specific license for Power Apps environment, you will get the benefit.
Okay, okay, sure.
Okay, I think Anik, the date is next weekend on set. You can scan QR actually. You will get all the details, when the date and all. So in Singapore, it is in on premise. Means in person event. You can join. You will have uh, 4 5 hours of event. You will learn fun goodies. Lunch also there. Everyone whoever will join. So snacks, lunch, everything is arranged already. So do join, and thanks again for joining. And I really apologize for delay again 20 minutes taking from your weekend's time. And have a great time in weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.